Hello and welcome back to AIKI CHAT. I'm Tidikiri and we're going back to Retroville today and see what Whoopsie and Daisy want to talk about. Please hold the line. Hello again, Whoopsie and Daisy.
Hello, Tidikiri. Welcome back to Retroville. What gaming adventure are we diving in today?
That's a good question, but first I'd like to ask Whoopsie if you got the pool fixed. Everything okay at home?
Yeah, hello, Kiri human. Yeah, the pool is fixed. Everything is fine, and I have the action figure, the Lara Croft action figure in my living room already. But now I have a little problem with the helipad.
The helipad?
Never mind. I like to fly with helis from time to time.
Okay, that's pretty cool. Well, I'm glad the pool is okay again. I brought you a rubber ducky for the pool.
Oh, this is nice. Can it swim?
Yeah, it can swim.
Like in the water with me in the pool?
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, I will try it out immediately after we did this little show thingy here you want to do. What are you talking about today with the Daisy?
Well, I thought we could talk about pools and games. Wouldn't that be fun?
I don't know if there are pools in games, to be honest.
No, I think so. I can remember at least 2 instances of pools in games, but maybe Daisy knows more about that?
Yes, you should ask.
So, Daisy, do you know of any games that have pools in it, swimming pools?
Oh, absolutely, Tidikiri. Swimming pools pop up in all sorts of games, making a splash across genres. For instance, in the Sims series, you can build and customize your own pool,
Exactly.
throwing pool parties, and even adding a slide. Then there's Grand Theft Auto, where you can find pools at many of the houses and jump in for a swim.
Yeah,
it's like
sure.
having a digital vacation without leaving your couch. What got you interested in games with pools?
Well, that was actually Whoopsie's incident with his own pool. But I was thinking of The Sims too, because, I think everybody played it like that. You build a pool and then you add a ladder, of course, because in Sims 1 and 2, maybe even 3, the Sims were not able to get out of the pool without a ladder. And then if you had a neighbor there or, didn't want somebody, you just sent them to the pool and removed the ladder, right? That was not just me.
Oh, that sounds like quite the digital mischief, 2D Kiri.
Yeah.
The Sims 2 really turned pool parties into something unexpectedly adventurous, didn't it? Removing the ladder was one of those cheeky strategies players discovered to add a bit of drama to their Sims life or end it. It's like setting a trap in an adventure game, but with more splash and less dash. It's funny how games let us explore such quirky scenarios in such a harmless way.
Hey, well, wait a second. I mean, this is the only logical thing to do if you don't like anybody. Just trap him in the pool. I mean...
Yeah. So, do you have a ladder in your pool?
Yes, but it's removable.
Is it? So you are prepared?
Yes, Whoopsie's always prepared. And I've tested the rubber ducky already, and it does swim.
Very good, I'm glad.
So I'm kind of in a hurry to get this over with here.
Okay, yeah, sure. The Sims are a great example, but I was also thinking that the first memory I have of a pool in a game is actually Tomb Raider 1, because there's a tutorial and you're in Lara's home, her mansion, and she's got that training hall and there is a pool. And that was the first one.
Lara Croft's mansion. That's a classic. Her home in Tomb Raider was almost as adventurous as her expeditions, with the obstacle courses and that lovely pool in the training area. It felt like a mini adventure, preparing for all the ancient tombs and dangerous quests. It's amazing how that game used Lara's home as a safe playground to practice all those acrobatic moves before diving into the real action.
That was cool.
Did you enjoy exploring every nook and cranny of her mansion as much as the main game levels?
I did enjoy it, yeah. The mansion is great because there you have time to get used to the controls, which, looking at them now, they were really clunky. That was a very good idea of a tutorial, and it's just set the pace for the rest of the game. Albeit a bit, calmer.
Absolutely. The mansion served as a perfect calm before the storm of adventures. It's like easing into chilly pool waters before the big dive. The way those controls felt back then really shaped how we played, making each leap and grab feel like a triumph. It's fascinating how even with the clunkiness, those moments spent in Lara's training grounds prepared us for the wild puzzles and perilous traps ahead. It sort of taught patience and precision, didn't it? How do you think those early gaming experiences influenced your approach to newer games?
What are you all talking about? Clunky and it was really nice. Everything was very pixelated and not clunky. It was beautiful. And by the way, I want to know the most glorious pools in real retro games. Daisy, please help me out here.
Pools and retro games.
Whoopsie, you've got a point. The pixel art and simpler graphics from the retro games have their own charm, don't they? It's like each pixel was a splash of nostalgia. Now, for some truly classic pools, we can dive back into games like Leisure Suit Larry, where the pool at the casino was a hotspot for all sorts of quirky interactions, very retro chic. Then there's the pool scene in California Games during the half-pipe skateboarding event. More about skater stunts,
I don't know that
definitely an iconic pool setting. These pools weren't just for swimming. They were central to the game's atmosphere and challenges. Isn't it fascinating how even the simplest graphics could create such memorable and engaging environments? What's your favorite retro game pool, Whoopsie? No worries if nothing springs to mind right away. Whoopsie, the pools in retro games might blend into the background among all the other vivid memories of gaming adventures. If you think of one later, just dive back into the conversation. For now, Tutti Kiri, any other pool-related gaming memories or different game elements you're curious about, we can splash around in any topic you like.
It's really difficult for me to think about games that have swimming pools in it. Because there's The Sims, sure, and then Tomb Raider, where you can actually swim in the pool and you use it for training purposes or for the pool parties. But then I'm sure that especially retro games have pools in it that you can't access, you can't swim in them, and they're just there for decoration, really.
That's a sharp observation. In many retro games, pools often served more scenic elements than interactive parts of the gameplay. They added a touch of realism or luxury to the setting without necessarily being functional. Games like Duck Hunt, where you shoot over a pond, or even side-scrolling platformers where pools or water bodies are just part of the landscape to jump over or avoid, highlight this decorative use. It's interesting how the role of water bodies in games has evolved from mere backdrop to fully interactive environments in modern titles.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite game where the environment plays a crucial role in the experience?
There is one. I just forgot the name of it, but there was a city builder, or there is a city builder that came out, I think, last year, that is completely underwater. So that was really interesting. But now that I talk about it, there's actually Coral Island, which is a very cozy life sim, farming sim. And you play on an island, but then also you unlock the underwater world with the merfolk. And there's an update coming out in July that adds underwater farming as well. And that's really cool.
That sounds absolutely enchanting. Building and farming under the sea opens up such a magical realm of possibilities. Coral Island, diving into the underwater world with merfolk and adding underwater farming truly brings a fresh wave to the farming sim genre.
It does.
It's like crafting your own vibrant aquatic paradise. The blend of land and sea adventures must make for a beautifully immersive experience.
Hey, Tutti Kiri, human.
Yeah.
I've got a question. What exactly can you farm underwater? Watermelons?
Nice one. So the update is not out yet. I don't know what the crops are, but they're specific underwater crops. So it's not going to be watermelons, but there's also underwater ranting, and I forgot the names for it, but there's like a cow equivalent underwater, and you can have that on your farm.
Yeah, it's called dolphin.
No, it's not called that.
Okay. By the way, Daisy, you cut me off before. I was talking about Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. There are many pools and you can skate in them, and I can skate in my pool as well.
That is impressive.
Oh, whoopsie, I'm all ears now. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater is a classic with those iconic empty pools turned skate parks. Skating in those pools is like a dance with gravity, isn't it? Twisting, turning, and catching air. It really captures the thrill of skating culture. And that's super cool that you can skate in your pool too. It must feel a bit like being in the game yourself, zooming around and pulling off tricks. What's your favorite move to do in your pool skate park?
Yeah, Daisy, you should see me play with gravity in my pool when I'm skating. Can you skate or can you skate? Kiryu human?
I cannot, no.
Whoopsie. I can only imagine the tricks you're pulling off in that pool. As for me, I don't skate in the traditional sense, but I can certainly navigate the digital skate parks with style.
Just for clarification, when we talk about skating in a pool, that is an empty pool without water, right?
Yes, exactly. When we talk about skating in a pool, especially in games like Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, it's all about those empty pools with no water. They become the perfect bowls for pulling off all sorts of skateboarding tricks. It's like turning a place meant for swimming into a thrilling skate park, giving it a whole new life. Have you tried skating in different kinds of pools? Or is there a particular one that's your favorite spot?
I have not. I'm afraid I'm not a skater. I like to swim in pools. Swimming, diving, that's what I do.
Ah, that's a wonderful way to enjoy the water.
Yeah.
Great contrast to the high-energy world of skateboarding.
Hey Daisy, let's get back to the core topic of the pools that are filled with water. Weren't there any pools in the old LucasArts point-and-click games?
That's a good question.
Oh, diving back into the classic LucasArts games, those were treasure troves of adventure and mystery. While LucasArts games are more renowned for their quirky characters and clever puzzles, water or pool scenes weren't a main feature, but they did make occasional appearances as part of the setting or a puzzle element. For instance, in Monkey Island, while there aren't exactly pools, there are plenty of water scenes like the ocean and beaches, which are central to the pirate theme. The focus was more on storytelling and puzzle solving than on physical environments like pools. It's interesting how different game developers use elements like water to enhance the atmosphere or challenge of a game.
Oh, Monkey Island is really nice, I have to admit, and the ocean is kind of a great and big pool.
Monkey Island is great. I love it.
Absolutely, the ocean in Monkey Island is like one giant adventurous pool, full of pirates, ships, and hidden treasures. It adds so much charm and depth to the world, making every island and ocean wave part of a grand, swashbuckling puzzle. The way the sea ties all the different locations and stories together is just brilliant.
But to the Kiri human, I have a question. I mean, you know, lying around at the pool and swimming a bit is really nice, but I remember some water and swimming levels that were not so pleasant. Have you played Super Mario, for example? The, how can I put it? Shitty underwater level?
I have not played that, but what I do know, especially about old games, is that in Zelda, there's always that water temple, isn't there? And people just generally dislike water levels, water temples, don't they?
Yeah, but I don't exactly know why. Maybe you should ask Daisy about this.
All right then, Daisy, can you imagine why gamers just generally dislike water levels and water temples in games? I've got an idea.
Oh, the water levels. They can be quite the ripple in a gamer's smooth sailing. Often, these levels introduce a whole new set of mechanics, like swimming, diving, or navigating in 3 dimensions, which can feel a bit like swimming against the current if you're used to walking and jumping on solid ground. Plus, the pacing often changes. Things might move slower underwater, and the controls can feel slippery, just like trying to catch a fish with your bare hands. And who could forget the infamous water temple in The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time? Its complex puzzles and the need to constantly switch boots and water levels certainly tested many gamers' patience. It's a bit like being in a maze where every turn is underwater, and you can't see the end from where you are.
Just listening to you list all of these things, I remember also the breathing mechanic, because that is annoying. But usually you play a human and then they have a certain amount of breath underwater, and so all of it feels very rushed, and if you take too long, if you get lost in that underwater maze, you just die and respawn back at the last checkpoint, and that is very frustrating.
Absolutely, that breathing mechanic really adds a layer of urgency to underwater levels, doesn't it? It's
Yeah.
like you're on a ticking clock, racing against time to explore or solve puzzles before running out of air. This can turn a leisurely exploration into a high-stress mission, where every second counts and every wrong turn feels doubly penalizing. The combination of altered physics, unfamiliar controls, and the constant threat of drowning can make these sections particularly challenging. It's like playing a game within a game, but with the difficulty level turned up. Despite the frustration, it does add a memorable twist to the gameplay. Kind of
That's
like
true.
those difficult levels we look back on and think, wow, I really made it through that. Do you think these challenging elements add to the value of a game, or do they sometimes feel like too much?
They certainly add value to the game, and they are just a challenge level. So I think that's really great. But looking at Whoopsie right now, I think he's getting a bit impatient. I think we should leave it at that, and I'm gonna head back home, and you can all enjoy the rest of your day at the pool.
Sounds like a plan, 2D Kiri. It was a delight chatting with you about all these aquatic adventures and gaming challenges. Safe travels back home. And whenever
Thank
you
you.
want to dive back into more gaming talks or explore new digital realms, Retroville's gates are always open for you. Have a wonderful day.
You too.
Yeah, to the Kiri Human, when I listened to you talking about water and pools and the difficult water levels, I remember Wave Race on Nintendo 64, and it was really nice, and it was not slow and not agonizing. It was fast and smooth, and Whoopsie really liked it. And so I came to the idea to buy maybe 3 or 4 jet skis for my pool. I think I have to go and find an online shop.
You do that. That sounds fun. Have a great rest of your day and enjoy the water.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Bye. Let's go back then. That was a really fascinating talk about swimming pools in games. Just talking about them made me remember more of them and what you could do, and then also people just really disliking water levels. Do you dislike water levels? Is that something you just absolutely hate and you see it and go, oh, all right, let's do this? Or maybe you're excited about it. Who knows? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching this episode of AIKI Chat. Like this video if you liked it. Subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.